Hello, we're going to start putting the cam followers in this Mercruiser 470. As you see here, these are oil fed hydraulic cam followers. Oil comes into this hole here, which makes this act like a bit of a plunger, taking any sort of wear, any sort of adjusting your valve gap really. These fit into these the guides there, so we're going to rub a bit of graphogen on them, slide them in and drop them down. Okay, rinse and repeat, do this 8 times, get them in. I did find these a little bit fiddly. They're like a real nice tight slip fit in the block, but they're there. Now you see, as I turn it over, you'll see them coming up and down in that chamber. And this is probably a good time just to explain the 4-stroke cycle. And how the valves and everything work. I'm just going to get a bit of oil, squibble around the tops of these pistons, bit of lubrication, and get them in the top of those valve guides for the push rods to sit in. Now this position here of the piston, this is TDC number 1. Okay. Now as that goes down, that sucks in the air-fuel mixture. Okay, so you've got a chamber full of air and fuel there. Then it comes up again. Second stroke, that squeezes it, and you put a spark on it, that ignites the bomb, the big bang, that forces the piston down. And the exhaust valve opens, piston comes back up and pushes the exhaust gas out. 4 strokes. And this is the head gasket. Normally they're marked top. This one isn't, so I've just had to check it's all lines up with all the holes and everything else. Everything in line. I'm going to bang the head on. Okay, drop the head on gently. Check it's on its guides nicely. Once it's on its guides, you're going to get all these bolts and spin them in. They should be spinning by hand all the way down. Once you've got them spun in, just give them a little nip so you know it's all down nicely, and then torque it up. Now I'm torquing this head in 3 stages. Okay, so I've got the main head torque is about 175 Newton meters, divided it by 3, and then that's my 3 stages of torquing. Okay, so this is the first stage, just nearly done. Then I'll wind the torque wrench up to the second stage. You'll notice while I'm torquing this head down, it's being torqued down, doing it from the middle out. There is a reason for doing this, it's so it pulls the head down nicely. If you imagine you've got a transfer or a sticker, and you're smoothing it out onto something, you'd squeeze all the air out from the middle out. And that's what I'm doing with this head gasket, just working from the middle out, just getting it all sat down, nice and square. Okay, now this is sort of, I think we're coming up on the 3rd stage of torquing now. Like I say, it's 175 Newton meters. That's what the information I've got. It wasn't an official Mercruiser book, but it's the best I could find on the internet. Okay, so once you've got all those down, you go around, give it one final click down, just check you've got them all, you haven't missed any. Like I say, working from the inside out all the time, so you know it's all down, all nice and square. Okay, now I'm going to start whacking the push rods in. All these push rods, cam followers, rockers and all that sort of thing really ought to go back in the same place that they came out of. It's just how things have worn together or something. They all match up. And you're going to start putting the rockers on now. Now when you put these rockers on, you want the valves in a closed position. So you put the rockers on, nip them down, and then give the engine a turn. Make sure that it's all spinning nice and free. Nothing's catching or fouling on each other. If you'd put the timing chain on wrong at this point, when you go to turn the engine over, the valves will probably come in contact with the tops of the pistons and it'd lock it up. But so there we go. It's just doing the same as what I've done on number 1 now. Just putting them all on, running them down. Now, the Hawkeye amongst you'll notice I haven't put in number 8 push rod. For some reason, this engine has been turned over and the valve, exhaust valve on number 8 was unable to open, which means it bent the push rod, which is the weakest point really. And so I've got to do some investigation now to find out why the exhaust valve couldn't open. There was something stopping it open, and the valve wasn't seized in the head, so I've got to have a look around and see what could be a cause for that. Like I say, I don't want to put all this back together and have it happen again. So I'm just going to nip this one down and then turn the engine over, and you'll see the valves opening and closing. Just give them a nip. There is a torque for these, but I haven't got a torque wrench that goes down 20 Newton meters. So just do it on a good nip. And there's the valves going up and down. Now here's the push rod that was bent. I put it in a vise because it was only a bit bent. I thought I might just be able to sneak it back level in a vise. Put it in a vise, it snapped straight off. I was amazed how easy it snapped. Probably did me a favour really, because it means I have got to get a new one, but there it is. We're going to put this side chamber on now. I'm going to clean the side chamber off, cork gasket that goes on it. Similar to the sump. When you put this on, you're just looking to give the gasket a nip. Drop the gasket in place. Now there's O-rings that go behind the heads of the bolts that hold this in place. And when you're tightening this up, you need to be very careful, okay? If you over tighten this casing, you will crack it. There's nothing behind it for it to tighten against. All you're tightening it against is the cork gasket. So if you pull those bolts in the middle tight, it'll crack around where the bolts go through, and then it'll just leak oil all the time. You'll never stop it, and that's a new casing then. So I'd just like to say thank you for watching once again. If you like what I'm doing, give us a thumbs up, drop us a comment, subscribe if you want more. Thanks a lot. Bye.